Kentucky's #1 hospital. The Wildcats in a home white, blue numerals and letters, 2 blue stripes down the left, and the Block UK logo on the bottom of the trunks on the right. For the Gators, they're decked out in orange with blue numerals and letters. Gators written in script across the chest. And we are just about set to get underway with the Senior Day matchup, final home game of the season for Mark Cope and company. Kentucky will go right to left from our vantage point, opposite the benches. Joe Lindsay heads up the officiating crew today. He's working with Vladimir Voyard-Vidal and Jem Harkness. 56-12 in favor of Kentucky all-time in games played here in Lexington. Cats against top 5 competition in Rupp Arena. 15 wins for Kentucky against 9 losses. The Gators at #5 have to feel they're playing for a chance to be the 4th 1 seed on Selection Sunday a week from tomorrow, since UConn was upset today at Marquette. Moreno in the jump circle opposite Chinyelu. Controlled by the Gators, but it is chased down in backcourt. I thought it was going out of bounds. Flan able to run it down before it did and save it. So the Gators will get the first possession. Aberdeen guarding Flan, who works his way to the left elbow, kicks it out on the wing to Houck. Oweh with him. They lob it down low to Chinyelu on the right block. Pivots to the baseline, goes under, reverse layup, good. Use the drop step to get around Moreno on the baseline.
Big-time veteran move there.
Gators strike first. Aberdeen with it. The former Gator out deep on the left side. It's Jelavic at the top of the circle. Dribbles to his left. Feeds on a backdoor cut, and it's batted away out of bounds. Trying to hit Oweh, and the Gators knock it away.
And I think the way Florida's going to play Jelavic, especially early. Now, he has a big on him, but he has to be ready to shoot that one when he catches it at the top of the key.
Oweh at the right elbow. Get the ball knocked away by Houck, but Oweh retrieves it. Takes it to the left elbow. Cut off. Needs help. Chandler comes out to get the pass. 2 seconds to shoot it. Chandler slides left. Long 3. No good. Rebounded by the Gators. Houck clears it. Like he was a little late with a recognition that the shot clock was about to expire. Here's Condon, top of the circle. Not much of a three-point threat. Gives it right side to Houck. He can hit him. Condon, right baseline. Drives on Jelavic. Bumps him. Reverse layup is good.
Right, almost that same move made by those two. Maybe they saw something in the video sessions.
2 reverse layups by the Florida Bigs. Gators with a 4-0 lead. Moreno, left of the circle. Gets it to Oweh on the wing. Oweh tried to go baseline. Cut off. Double team. Ball knocked away. He saves it. Bounces it into Moreno, but he can't handle it. A turnover, and the Gators are going the other way. Xavier Lee throws it ahead to the right wing. Here's Flan for 3. It's good.
Yeah, he's been shooting it extremely well in the last 5 games.
Averaging 14 points a game over the last 4. The Gators with a fast 7-0 start. And they scored 25 points off Kentucky turnovers in Gainesville. They got 3 there. Chandler pass to the right corner. Jelavic turns down a 3 to penetrate into the lane with a right-hand floater that's way off the mark.
That's the shot he has to take.
Chinyelu with a rebound. Gators up 7, and they've got the ball. Xavier Lee stops in front of Coach Pope out deep on the left side. Guarded by Chandler. Works his way down the sideline, then hooks it back over his shoulder to Condon. Condon goes down the lane. Angles right. Blocked by Jelavic, and a whistle and a foul. There's no foul there. But they call one on Jelavic. Just a tremendous block.
Little surprised that was called because of how physical this game is going to be. Maybe the official wants to try to deliver a message.
First foul of the game. Talked to Denzel Aberdeen the other day in practice, and the phrase he used twice is Kentucky wants to be physical first.
Yes.
Condon at the line, shoots 66%. It's good. He's been hot of late. 20 or more in 4 of his last 5 games.
And he had a double-double against Kentucky earlier a couple weeks ago. 14 points, 11 rebounds.
Florida pitching a shutout a little over 2 minutes into the game. This one's no good. And the rebound saved in by Moreno, who goes flying down into the right corner, but Chandler's racing the other way. Chandler drives it down to the baseline, then he backs out. Now goes baseline again, reverse layup with the left hand, won't go. Rebounded by Condon, saves it to Chinyelu, and Florida's running. Lee up the left side. Lee stops, backs out, long three, good. And the Gators have an 11-zip lead on the Xavier Lee three, and Mark Pope takes a timeout with 17:24 still left in the opening half.
Well, it kind of seems, Tom, like Kentucky's just a little bit intimidated right now, and it's that way on both ends of the floor. Florida having no problems running their stuff, and Kentucky has allowed them to get to the spots they want to get to. And then on the other end, when Kentucky's on offense, everything has been rushed and hurried. So Kentucky just needs to calm down here. It's not a big deal. Let's get this thing, get a hold of this right now and play with the confidence that you should have in this game.
Florida had double-digit leads in both the first half and the second half down in Gainesville last month, but with a minute to play, it was a two-possession game. Florida won at 92-83 as Aberdeen walks it up into front court, floats over to the left side. It's Oweh out front between the circles. He goes down the left side of the lane, all the way to the baseline. Tries to hit Moreno, finds it in traffic, out to Jelavic, straightaway three, no good. Moreno going for the rebound, but Chinyelu got there first. Florida coming the other way. Land up the right side. Pulls up, gives it to Condon out on the right wing. Condon guarded by Jelavic. Going to try to attack it. Bumping down the right block. Condon comes into the paint with a left-hand leaner that's an air ball.
And nice
it goes
job.
Out of bounds. Jelavic held his ground.
Yes. I thought he did the time before and came up with a pretty good block, but he got called for the foul.
11-0 Gators. Kentucky back on the attack. That's 0 for 4 to start the game. Comes left side to Chandler, back to Aberdeen out near the midcourt circle. Feeds Moreno on the lob, down low. It's Jelavic, goes up, and contact to miss the shot. It's out of bounds off the Gators.
Yeah, see, that's when Moreno has to go on and take to the basket. That's what Florida bigs do. They put the pressure on you to stop them.
Mark Pope said in the pregame show, one of the message to the bigs today is dunk the ball. Jelavic should have done that there. Here's Aberdeen out deep on the left side. Chandler coming off a screen, can't get open. Now Oweh does. Right of the circle. Oweh's going to pull up, shoot a three from the top, and it's no good. And the shot clock goes off as Florida rebounds it. Lee racing up the right side, but Kentucky's back. It's still scoreless, almost 4 minutes into the game. Lee gets into the paint, lost the handle, gathers it in, and then saves it to Flan. It's knocked away. He's got it back in traffic, flips up an 8-footer. That's no good, and it's rebounded by Jelavic. Good defensive possession for Kentucky, forcing a bad shot. Now they've got another chance to get on the board, trailing 11-zip. Aberdeen out deep on the left side, double teamed off the pick, backs down and throws it over to Jelavic.
He can't stop shooting that one.
Back to Moreno out top. Moreno hands it off to Aberdeen, 10 to shoot. Aberdeen comes into the paint with a floater, bounces off, no good. Gets his own rebound down on the left baseline. Feeds Jelavic, cutting into the paint. His floater good.
Well, they're giving Florida way too much respect.
Pass up into front court to Condon. He's got it on the right baseline, facing up on Jelavic. Throws it out to Howe. Howe, guarded by Oweh. Out beyond the arc, can't get a shot. Back to Condon, a collision, and we get a foul. Condon hit the deck.
I think it was Oweh who got him as he tried to work over the screen.
First foul on Ortega, 2 on Kentucky. There's a timeout on the floor with 15:23 to play in the opening half. The Gators lead the Cats 11-2 on the UK Sports Network. 11-2, Florida leading Kentucky with 15:23 to play. The Gators on a 10-game winning streak that is the 4th longest in the nation. And when they beat Kentucky down in Gainesville early in that streak on Valentine's Day, they limited Kentucky to 43% shooting. Wildcats are even worse so far today. 1 of 8 from the field, 0 for 3 at the three-point line. Gators have made 4 of 6, 2 threes for their 10-point lead. So, Goose, what do you see that Kentucky needs to do differently?
Well, I see a Kentucky team that's given Florida way too much respect. I mean, it's one thing to come into a game like this understanding what you're up against, but man, I want to make them earn the respect that Kentucky's given them. So what I'm hoping is Kentucky will come out here, and I'm talking about between now and this next time out, and chew up this lead that Florida has been able to build simply by Kentucky making the plays they should be making. Florida blocks, 3 shots a game, maybe 4? I mean, don't play against them like they're going to block every shot. They're not.
Gators ball right baseline. They play it into Condon. He's guarded now by Chandler. Condon walks it out front over to Houck. Houck comes to the top, picks it up, gives it left side to Flan. Dioubate and Garrison have checked in at the 4 and 5 for Kentucky. Flan in the middle of the floor, goes right against Dioubate, works his way into the paint, goes back left, throws it over to Clamsar. He drives down to the baseline, throws it back out front to Flan, and he shoots it just ahead of the buzzer, and the shot clock violation is whistled against the Gators. So the Cats force Florida's first turnover.
Yeah, now that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you got to come out and you got to take it to them. Don't just sit back and say, man, they're ranked number 4 or 5 in the country, so we can't play with these guys. Yes, we can.
Denzel Aberdeen works it up into front court and then gives it to the trailer, Garrison, in the middle of the floor. He dribbles right, feeds Chandler on a backdoor cut, but he can't get a shot, so he works his way out to the left corner. Tracked by Clamsar, throws it out to Oweh, to Dioubate straight away. He hands it to Aberdeen, back to Dioubate, goes in deep, puts up the shot, through the foul.
That's what I'm
Took
talking
it right into the chest of Condon and knocked him backwards.
Mo is not going to back down from them just because they're Florida.
Condon called for the foul. First of the game on the Gators, 2 shots for Dioubate. He has been providing that physicality, the hustle of late for Kentucky that doesn't always show up in a box score.
Yeah, but he cannot be the only one.
You're right about that.
I mean, Brandon Garrison, he should be playing with that same kind of toughness. He's been around long enough to know that.
Free throw, Dioubate bounces off to the left. No good. He's coming off a 19-point game at Texas A&M on Tuesday night. It's the smaller Aggies. He just relentlessly attacked the rim. This is a different challenge here with the size the Gators have. Handlogton is checked in at the 5 spot for Chinulu for Florida.
The attitude is what needs to be the same, and that Mo brings that every game. The challenge is different, yes.
Dioubate rolls in the second. He gets 1 out of 2 to make it 11-3 Florida. Kentucky extending its defense into backcourt. They look at the trap plan. He backs out of it, then throws it across the line to Condon. 14 and a half left. First half, 11-3 Florida. Handlogton at the high post. Hands it to Houck. Houck back over to Condon. Turns down the 3, and he walked. They left him wide open, and he's only made 8 of 51, and he was hesitant, indecisive, and finally made a move, but he forgot to dribble.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Condon knows that's not his game. That's part of Florida knowing who they are. He gets to the basket on that most of the time.
Condon has a team-high 69 turnovers now in the season. Oweh straight away, guarded by Houck. Drives on him, spins to his right,
and
banks it up.
Yeah.
Got it! Foul on Houck!
That's what I'm talking about. Man, make them earn it.
Oweh draws the second foul against the Gators. Houck is coming off a foot injury, didn't play on Tuesday night. This 5 that started today for the Gators as Oweh puts up the free throw and he hits it to make it 11-6. And now we get 2 Gators both hitting the deck along with Dioubate as they all got tangled up along the free throw lane. I was going to say, with Houck coming back from this injury today, they have started the same 5 in all but 2 games this season.
Yeah, man. How much of a luxury is that? Wow.
So the Cats have fought their way back from an 11-zip deficit. And here comes the crowd. The Go Big Blue chant. Clamsar deep in backcourt, working it up against the press. Throws it down into front court to Handlogton in the left corner. He dribbles into the circle, picks it up. Bounce pass to Condon at the high post, out to Flan. Florida looking a little unsettled right now. Flan, top of the circle. Goes down the left side of the lane, gets to the rim, flips it up. No, tap no good. Tap again, no good. Dioubate clears it. Handlogton got 2 taps at it, wouldn't go. Chandler in transition, cut off, picked up beyond the 3-point line. Gives it up front to Dioubate, hands it to Aberdeen. Aberdeen, left corner, double team. Diagonal pass to the top to Garrison, turns down the 3, hands it to Oweh. Oweh into the paint, out to Dioubate. He'll shoot a 3, bounces in.
Yes, Mo. You You got to take that every now and then.
3 for 22 on the season. 3 at the other end. Houck hits it.
Yeah, but
quiet the crowd.
And that's what they do. They get it up the floor quickly. That's why transition defense is so important.
3 threes for the Gators by 3 different players. 14-9 Florida. Chandler, left corner, double teamed off the screen. Throws it out front to Oweh. Rescues it as it skips off his hand and almost went into backcourt. Oweh at the right elbow. Couple of crossovers. Pull up 15-footer. Comes up short and it's rebounded by Condon. Houck was retreating off Oweh, respecting his speed, and gave Oweh a wide open shot, but it wouldn't go. 14-9 Florida. 12:45 left first half. Flan works it to his left and gives it to Condon straight away. Condon dribbles left, hands it to Clavzar, slides right, a contested 3, and he decided to pass it instead. We get a foul down low on Kentucky as there was a quick contest on the three-point shot, so Clavzar did a double clutch and threw it into the post as well, or instead, and drew the foul against Kentucky. The pass to Condon. That's 3 now on the Wildcats. That one was whistled against Dioubate, and that is his first.
And Mo has just been physical in that paint. And he definitely committed that foul, but it was not in the act of shooting.
Florida ball left baseline. Xavier Lee back in. He'll lob it into the corner to Condon. Condon's got his back to Aberdeen. They'll try to back him down, though. Lee's got it out front. Now they get the switch back, and Diabate's on Condon. Here's Lee off the screen to the top of the circle. Crossover dribble, bounce feed down to Chinyelu, juggles it down to the left baseline.
Got to be physical.
4 seconds to shoot.
That's way to be
turns
physical.
and hits
Big
a jump
shot. I don't mind that. But Malachi was not going to let him bully his way to the basket.
16-9 Florida. Aberdeen top of the circle over to Diabate. Driving
that's
bucket,
offense.
collision, offensive foul.
Yeah.
It's 2 on Diabate.
Yeah, that was too obvious.
Condon drew the charge. 4 on Kentucky. 3 turnovers on the Cats.
Boy, now you have a real issue here.
Fans reacting to the replay. They thought Condon was still moving, as did Diabate, as he says something to one of the officials down on the baseline. But it's 2 fouls on Diabate. They leave it in for now. Xavier Lee looks a pass to Condon left of the circle, holding the ball at his chest. 1 dribble. Now he needs somebody to get it to. Does to Chinyelu, but he's out beyond the three-point line. Dribbles out to the top and hands it to Lee. Lee working off the Chinyelu screen, trying to get a look at 3. Can't. Over to Condon. He turns down a 3.
Now that's offense. That's offense.
There's the offensive foul.
Yeah.
He extended that left arm when Diabate got up in his chest, and Mo forces the turnover back against the Gators. 3 each way. Timeout on the floor. 11:43 left first half. 16-9. Florida leading at Kentucky on the UK Sportsnet. 16-9. Florida leading Kentucky. It's the final from Knoxville. Vanderbilt beats Tennessee 86-82. So 2 dominoes have fallen in favor of Kentucky, and if they can upset the Gators, the Wildcats will have a double bye to the third round of the SEC tournament next week down in Nashville. Arkansas beat Missouri earlier today, 88-84 in overtime. So Arkansas and Vandy both won road games. So Arkansas improved finishes the season with 5 league losses. Missouri now has 8. Vanderbilt has 7. Tennessee has 7. Georgia playing right now at Mississippi State. They're 9-8. Kentucky 10-7 going into play today. Watch PBN tonight, presented by UK Healthcare all season long. Show airs at 7:30 each weeknight on WLEX in Lexington. If you're outside the city of Lexington, you can watch at PBNtonight.com. Kentucky seems to have found its rhythm more so than in the first 4 minutes, Goose.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. They're giving Florida a lot of respect. They deserve it, I guess, but, man, that's before you came into my house. You're in my house. You're going to have to earn the respect. And I think Kentucky finally figured that out. And it started with Mo Diabate taking the ball to the basket with authority against those bigs, and Florida drawing the foul. And now it seems like everybody has upped that volume of physicality. And that's the way you have to play against Florida.
Jasper Johnson has checked into the Kentucky lineup in place of Chandler. Jelavic back in for Diabate. Moreno, Aberdeen, and Oweh, the other 3 on the floor. Clamsar throws it over his right shoulder to Moreno, middle of the floor, gives it right side to Johnson. Johnson comes out front. Two-hand pass left side to Oweh. Going to the baseline. Pull up 15-footer. No good. Rebounded by Moreno out to Johnson between the circles. Jasper gives it back to Moreno. Spins, dribbles left. Hands it to Oweh. Oweh comes into the lane. Cut off. Fall away 8-footer. Bounces and goes in.
And you see how aggressively Oweh goes on those cuts to the basket? It keeps that Florida defense off balance.
16-11. Here's Houck with a three. No good off the right side, and it caroms out of bounds into the cheerleaders down on the baseline. And Florida, after making 4 of its first 6, has gone 2 for its next 6. Kentucky's cut it to 5. They got the ball back.
It's got to keep chopping away at it, man. Little bites at a time.
Aberdeen standing in the midcourt circle. Two-hand pass comes left side to Johnson. Back to Aberdeen. Fakes right, goes left. Drops it off to Moreno. Pass to the right corner. Oweh 3. Yes, sir!
Just take a little bite at a time.
5 straight for double O. 16-14 Florida. Houck dribbles left for the Gators. Hands it off to Brown, who's checked in. Gives it to Clamsar in the left wing. Bounce pass to Chandler at the top of the circle. Dribbles right, hands it to Lee, but he can't turn the corner. They feed it into the post. Chandler knocked away. Chandler's got it back. Feeds it to Houck down the lane. Blocked by Jelavic off the board. Rebound Moreno. Outlet to Jelavic. Drops it off to Aberdeen. Slows it up as he comes into front court. Drops it off to Oweh. Oweh at the top. Feeds Moreno. And a whistle and a foul on the Gators on the roll to the basket. Moreno caught it, got fouled.
I just wish Malachi, and he's going to be so good in another year or two, man. But when he catches it in that paint, I'd love for his first move to be towards the basket, at least thinking about scoring as opposed to where am I going to throw this? It makes how they guard you so much different.
Pass comes into Jelavic. Leaping grab out on the left wing. They work it around to the right side to Oweh. To Moreno, back to Oweh. Oweh in the right corner. Needs help. Bounces to Moreno. Moreno in the paint. Goes for the bucket. Floats it up. Missed it. Rebound Chandler.
But see, Tom, that was an afterthought.
Didn't automatically turn and go to the hoop, did he?
No, he didn't.
Lee out deep on the right side. Picks up his dribble. Hands it to Houck. Houck travels down to the baseline. Spins into the paint. Goes up. Draws the foul. When he spun into the paint, he stopped and didn't go straight up. And Moreno bit on the fake and commits the foul. That's his first, and that's 5 against the Cats. Garrison and Chandler getting ready to check in for Kentucky. 2 shots for Houck.
What Houck did that time, he came to 2 feet and planted his feet.
Free throw, good.
Now you can go straight up, or if you see that defense, you can use that pump fake. Again, those are lessons that Malachi, man, he's going to learn those. He's going to be so good.
Moreno and Aberdeen to the bench.
But I just want him to think first about what can I do offensively to score.
Second shot, Houck is good.
You know, the other thing that does or prevents is those bigs on the other team picking up fouls.
It does. 18-14 Florida. Johnson goes left off the screen, drives it to the wing, then reverses it to Jelavic out top. Jelavic works right, tried to hand it off, and it's batted out of bounds by Lee as he tried to hand it to Chandler. And for the Gators, Hanlogton's coming back in. Chandler goes out. 18-14 Florida. Kentucky's ball on the side. Alan Chandler, 3 points and only 5 shots. Those 2 totals, both the fewest since January 7th for him. He's scoreless so far. I'd love to see him get going. Here's Garrison. Feeds it down low to Jelavic, right under the bucket. Out to Oweh. Left wing, 3 ball. Got it!
Very nice. Ortega, you're going to have to carry him until somebody comes along with you.
8 straight for double O. They feed it to Hanlogton, going for the basket, and then he throws it out to the wing, and they get it to Brown, driving left baseline, puts it in, and drew the foul against Garrison. I don't mind the foul, but you can't give up the basket.
No. And that was a good job by, I don't know if it was Hanlogton that screened off the defense, put his body on Garrison to prevent him from stepping down to the baseline or not, but Garrison could not rotate down.
Brown will try to complete the 3-point play for the Gators. And does not. Rebound snatched by Oweh. Coming down to 9 minutes to play in the first half. 3-point lead for the Gators. Oweh takes it down the left side of the lane. He's going for the basket. It's blocked, picked up, jammed in, Garrison.
Great job following.
He just got caught in the wave. throws it to Brown, and it's deflected as it comes out to Flan, who picks it up and shoots. No good. Jammed in by Hout, flying down the lane. He's got 7.
Well, that was an unfortunate bounce for Kentucky there. Good job by Jasper getting down there to almost force the turnover.
Florida averages 16 a game on second chance opportunities, about twice what they give up. Garrison, right of the circle, has the ball knocked away, and Hanlongton dives on the court to come up with it. Flan throws up a lob dunk to Hout. Garrison had his pocket picked from behind.
Well, that's one you just have to keep tucked away because it's too much spacing to communicate that guy coming.
Johnson comes into front court, works it down the left side, goes around Flan, gets down to the left baseline, keeps his dribble as he makes a U-turn, comes back out, dribbling around, comes into the paint, ball's knocked away, and it's stolen. Got to give that thing up. Brown, and Johnson commits the foul as Johnson was trying to catch up to Brown. Florida bench wanting an intentional foul. Johnson reached out and grabbed Brown. We'll see what they look at here during the break and let you know when we come back. With 7:39 to play, there's a timeout on the floor. Kentucky headed down to 1. Florida's pushed it back to 5. Gators 24, Cats 19 on the UK Sports Network. 7:39 left first half. 24-19 Florida. That foul was on Jasper Johnson, called a common foul, the 7th against Kentucky, but as Jasper was trying to catch up to Brown, who had taken the ball away, he reached out and grabbed Brown around the waist, so they may have upgraded this. We're waiting for the official word. Watch BB and Game Day presented by CHI St. Joseph Health all season long. Airs Saturday mornings at 9 on WLEX in Lexington. If you're outside the state, you can watch at ukathletics.com/videos or on the Kentucky Wildcats Facebook page.
Yeah, I thought I heard the official say it was upgraded, so Florida would get 2 free throws and the ball. I thought I heard him say that. I haven't heard it over the speaker yet, but over the PA system.
Here we go. Yeah, we unfortunately could not hear that because the music, so it I think was against Kentucky for a flagrant 1. It's a 2-shot foul and the ball for the Gators.
Yeah, you know, when you think about my Goose's Gibbons here coming in this game, it's a given. You cannot give Florida those extra possessions, and for Kentucky, they give the ball up when they get in that fanatic up and down pace.
Brown is at the line. He was the player who was fouled.
So you got to protect that basketball.
It's good. Brown with his 3rd point. This one's good as well. And now Florida will get to inbound the ball. So Kentucky had cut it to 1. Gators have now pushed it back to 7 at 26-19. Condon's back in the game for Florida. Flan down on the left baseline. Floats it into Condon. Condon working against Chandler. Gives it to Lee out on the left wing. Gives it back to Condon in the paint. His floater's good.
Well, they are executing their offense in that half-court game. Kentucky's got to pick it up defensively.
8-0 run for the Gators, and they're back in front 28-19. 7:20 left first half. Flan, or rather Moreno at the top. Passes left side to Aberdeen, who's guarded by Flan. Over to Dioubate, who's back in, playing with 2 fouls. Mo at the right elbow. They give him plenty of space. He backs out beyond the 3-point line. 8 seconds to shoot it. He goes down to the baseline, working his way under the basket. Pump fake, goes up, missed the shot, and it comes down to Lee. They got in position to get a good look at the bucket, but could not convert, and Florida's got it coming back the other way with Lee in the middle of the floor. Standing and dribbling right now. Dioubate guarding him at the moment. Here's Condon left of the circle. Condon dribbles left, pounds it to Howe. He'll shoot a 3. Good.
Wow. Well, that's just good offense.
That's 12 for Houck, and he shoots 34%. That's his second three of the day, and the lead is 12, largest of the day, 31-19. Aberdeen drops the ball out front, picked up by Florida. A run out for Flan and a dunk at the other end, and Kentucky will take a timeout with 6:25 to play. Florida on a 13-0 run, and 3 Kentucky turnovers in that stretch, leading to Florida baskets. 33-19 with 6:25 to play, and these are live ball turnovers, the worst kind.
Yeah.
Getting Florida out in transition where Kentucky has little or no chance to defend it.
And it's just a situation where Florida, it looks to me as though they decided we got to get even more physical. And they are slapping at the ball. Kentucky easily giving it up. As soon as a little bit of contact is made, they had gotten away from that for a little while. They got back in the game, and Florida's picked it up again.
Today's game is presented by UK Healthcare, official healthcare partner of the BBN and Kentucky's #1 hospital. Chandler, Dioubate, Moreno, Aberdeen, and Oweh on the court.
Aberdeen and Chandler is going to have to figure out how to get some looks. They are allowing themselves to be defended.
Aberdeen and Chandler have not scored. Oweh has 10. Comes left side to Chandler, back to Aberdeen. Around to Oweh. Oweh down the right sideline, changes direction, comes into the paint. Foul speed to Dioubate, and he's hammered as he tries to go for the dunk off the left baseline. Foul is on Hadlongton.
Well, good job,
team fourth.
Good job, Mo, moving without the ball. But it all starts with Oweh aggressively going to the basket and handling that first bump that he gets. I mean, he knows he's going to get hit. So he has taken on that challenge and still creating for himself and for his teammates.
Dioubate is 1 for 2 at the line. Shoots 64% on the season. Rims out. Kentucky missed 11 of 28 free throws down at Texas A&M. They've made 78% in the previous 3 games.
Well, you just can't leave those kind of points against this kind of team out there. You have to cash in on those.
And it goes in. Dioubate gets 1 out of 2.
Now it's about getting some stops.
33-20 Florida. 6 minutes to play in the half. Condon, top of the circle. Guarded by Moreno. Beats it on a backdoor cut. Reverse layup's good for Lee. Beat Dioubate along the left baseline.
Oweh turned his head out on the wing, and that's where Lee got the step to the basket. But you have to do that kind of stuff to get open from those guard positions.
35-20 Florida. Aberdeen left of the circle. Hands it off to Chandler out deep on the left. Across to Moreno. Feeds it back to Chandler. Gets in deep. Kicks it out to the corner. Open 3. Oweh. Yes! 3 threes for Oweh at 14 points. 35-23 Florida. Flan, left elbow. Lobs it down low. Deflected and stolen by Dioubate. Outlet Aberdeen. Aberdeen down the left side. Pull up 3. No. Rims out. Rebounded by Flan. Oweh hit the deck. He's down at the other end. He was battling for the rebound. Florida's got numbers. Lee in the right corner. Spins out to the wing. Comes into the paint. Cut off by Aberdeen. He backs out. Hands it to Condon. Now Oweh's recovered. It's 5-on-5. Under 5 minutes to play in the half. Lee on the left side. Curls into the lane. Cut off. Dumps it down low to Condon. Jump hook good. He got it in deep.
Boy,
It's hard to stop them from scoring when they do that.
They are so big.
37-23 Florida after Kentucky had cut it to 2019. Moreno at the high post, holding the ball at his chest. It's knocked away, but Oweh picks it up. Oweh working his way down the lane. Now spins back into the paint, floats it up, no good. Rebound controlled by Hadlongton, and he almost threw it away, but Flan runs it down. There's a lob, and the ball's put up and in at the rim by Xavier Lee. 7 for Lee. 39-23 Florida. Largest lead of the day for the Gators. 4:10 to play in the first half. Aberdeen, middle of the floor. Floats over to his right. Well beyond the three-point line. He's back off the screen, and a whistle and a foul on Florida. It's going to be on Hadlongton, I think. Yes. -5 on the Gators. Every time Kentucky does one of those ball screens, Florida is jamming the guy taking the handoff.
And why shouldn't they?
Yes.
Because Kentucky's not doing anything to make them pay for it. Now they have made some backdoor cuts.
Made some rolls, but they haven't been able to convert.
But they haven't been able to convert those because our bigs in that screen and roll are not looking to score. Just think about how many times Florida has put Kentucky in that high screen and roll situation, and Florida's bigs are coming off of that looking to score. It's a big difference.
Oweh out, Noah in. Aberdeen drives down the lane, gets in deep, pump fake, goes up and missed it, tapped in. Garrison got it. Second putback bucket for BG. 39-25. Houck down low, turns, jump hook, good.
Oh, they are so good. Their footwork is so good.
59% on two-point shots is the best mark in the SEC. That's Florida. All those big guys. Here's Chandler right at the circle. Can't get a look. Backs out, now attacks again. Cross-court pass to Noah. Noah hands it to Aberdeen. Florida just really aggressive with its defense out beyond the three-point line because they know the size they have protecting the basket. Here's Noah at the top of the circle. Noah hands it to Dioubate. 5 seconds to shoot. Dioubate going for the basket. Puts it up, and it drops off. No good into the hands of Chandler.
Thought he got bumped.
Florida going the other way. Here's Flan on the right side. Turns down the three, but he can't get to the basket. He hands it off out front to Houck, who gives it to Clamsar, who's checked in. Clamsar working down the left side of the lane. Cut off. Keeps his dribble. Backs out beyond the three-point line to Houck for a three. That's no good. Rebound claimed by Chinyalu in the paint. He turns, and he draws a foul. And if it's Dioubate, that will be his third, and it is. Dioubate, and a timeout on the floor with 2:53 to play. It is Florida 41 and Kentucky 25 on the UK Sports Network. 10-game winning streak. Florida's shot 53% from the field, held opponents to 38%, and outscored the opposition by an average of 23 a game. Here today, they've made 9 of their last 10. They're shooting 64%. Kentucky 36%. And the Gators have a 16-point lead with 2:53 to play at 41-25. And they can beat you inside with those big guys scoring so effectively from 8 feet in. And now they've started to make some threes. They've made 4 out of 7 today. And that makes them particularly lethal when they can add the three-point game to that inside string.
Well, and if you add on top of that how good they are on defense, Tom. Yes. I mean, we're talking offensively, but most of the problems Kentucky is having is because of the Florida defense. I mean, my goodness, man, they are making everything difficult for Kentucky with their size, with their strength, with their quickness. I mean, it just seems like they have the advantage in every phase of the game.
Aberdeen had 19 against his former team in the loss in Gainesville. Chandler had 18. Neither has scored so far today. They're combined 0 for 5 from the field. So Gators came in clearly with those two guys high on the list of priorities defensively. Florida's number 4 in the country in defensive efficiency, number 9 in offensive efficiency in the nation. Chinyalu at the line for 2 shots. Chinyalu at the line for 2. Chinyalu is a force as a rebounder. Number 1 in the nation. Maybe the best at Florida since Neil Walk in the late 60s. Free throw bounces and drops off. Danced around the rim and fell off to the side on the right. One more shot coming for Chinyalu. Good. He gets 1 out of 2.
Boy, if I could take any one player off of this Florida team, he might be the guy I would choose.
17-point lead for the Gators, 42-25. Aberdeen bounce pass to the left elbow to Moreno. Wanted to hand it to Chandler, couldn't, and tries to drop it off to Aberdeen. And we get a holding foul on Clamsar. Wouldn't let Aberdeen get to the ball. First, Clamsar.
Colin Chandler is going to have to take a shot.
Aberdeen is 7 fouls.
if their guards have the assignment to stay on him everywhere he goes. I don't care. Get smart. Swing those arms. Make sure there's contact. Throw that thing up towards the rim. At least get to the free throw line. But you can't give Kentucky nothing on that offensive end. They've been counting on him too much.
Aberdeen's bonus shot coming next. Hits them both. It's just under 80% at the line, career best. 42-27 Florida. 2:38 to play in the half. Slam brings it into front court. Garrison's out there with Moreno, the two bigs together. Here's Houck wide open on the right wing. Hits a three.
I mean, Garrison is not supposed to leave like that. He's supposed to show and stay with the big, especially if it's him.
Lead. Third three for Houck. Garrison trying to get it to Chandler on the right side. Can't, throws it back to Moreno. He gives it to Oweh, who's back in. Oweh going to shoot a three. Hit it, 4 of them. 17 first 10 points for Oweh.
But that's how you get your shots. You have to create them sometimes.
Chandler, 15 feet out on the left side, trying to back down Moreno. Gets into the paint with a running hook shot that's no good, and they call Moreno for the foul. His second.
And I kind of feel for Moreno in that situation.
I mean, the guy's backing you down at 265, and you're just trying to meet bump for bump. And
well, the thing
you got to let him back down. You need to let Moreno have a little leeway too.
But then on top of that, Tom, is the lack of respect the freshman gets playing against a guy like Chandler. You're not going to get the benefit of the whistle. You're just not. And it's unfair, but it's the way it is.
No good. Rebound, Moreno. 16-point lead for the Gators. 1:48 to play in a half. Aberdeen comes up the middle of the floor. Looking to his left.
That,
two-hand pass to Chandler on the wing.
Giving it up way too quick.
Back to Moreno. Moreno gives it back to Aberdeen. Straight away between the circles. Works it to his left. Moves inside the arc. Into the lane. Jump stop. Angles right. Flips it up and good. First field goal for DA. 46-32. Houck driving left to the lane. All the way to the baseline. Pitches it out to the corner to Brown. Houck gets it back. Shovel pass right side. Clavsar. Long three. Good.
And see, if they're going to play you like that, Colin Chandler, he has to play them like that. No space, and if there's a little space, shoot it.
6 threes for the Gators. Oweh going down the left side of the lane. Going for the basketball. Knocked out of his hands. It goes out of bounds off Florida. 16 to shoot. 58 seconds to play in the half. Oweh just taking charge because his teammates, many of them tentative so far as Garrison goes out. Jelavic comes back in. Oweh will go down to the baseline to inbound the ball. Florida with 6 threes, Kentucky with 5. He's shooting just 39% from the field. Pass out front to Jelavic. He hands it to Aberdeen. Aberdeen, lob to Moreno at the right elbow. Wants to hand it to Oweh. Drops it off to him, and Oweh dribbles it off his foot. Then knocks it back away, and Houck picks it up for Florida. Another turnover.
It's that bounce pass in traffic we talked about.
Clavsar, step back three from the top. It's an air ball.
And see, but I don't mind that when you have to have points from a guy. Colin Chandler, you have to have points. You have to have shots from him. So what if you shoot a bad one or you miss it? They have to play you differently if you start throwing them up.
Gators have made 11 of their last 13 before they've missed. Here's Ortega Oweh straight away. He's going to go up and shoot a three, and it gets blocked by Brown. 24 seconds to play. Shot clock's off. Put in the hands of Boogie Flan, standing in the midcourt circle. Florida will take its using a losing timeout. 16.6 on the clock. Kentucky trailing by 17. Florida scored the first 11 points of the game. Kentucky battled back to make it 20-19 with about a little over 8 minutes to play. And then Florida went on a 13-0 run, aided by 3 live ball turnovers by Kentucky that led to everyone else.
Yeah, that was a tough stretch right there, and it was just turnovers that easily could have been avoided. But it seemed like Kentucky kind of went to to that dribble. Let me see what I can create. Dribble. And now you're playing right into Florida's hands because they're so big and so long.
And they've got the size. So again, we talked earlier. They can play out deeper out on the court to disrupt your offense. So what do you have to do? You have to cut hard. You have to fight for your space. And you have to make good, crisp passes.
Yeah. Look, I became a much better defensive player because I knew I had the erasers, Rick Roby, Mike Phillips. I knew I had those guys back in the paint so I could come out. And that's where Florida is right now. They know if one guy gets by me, you still have to deal with two other 7-footers.
Comes into Flan.
Kentucky in a little bit of a zone defense.
Flan straight away. Angles to his right. Lobs it up for Chandler. Can't finish the shot. Chandler rescues it. Throws it up into front court. It's intercepted by Clavsar. And that will bring the first half to an end. It was just a couple of seconds. Chandler was trying to steal a bucket, but no dice. And the Gators go to the half, leading by 17. Michelle Kneznik with Coach Mark Pope.
Coach, Florida was able to extend the lead there heading into the half. What will be your biggest point of emphasis to your guys?
Yeah, it's ball protection. It's just protect the ball, and that's led to a lot of transition, and missed shots have led to a lot of transition. So it's ball protection and transition lead.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach Mark Pope sounded a little dejected. He'll have to light a fire under his team to head back out into the second half from 17 down. Our halftime interview presented by Don Franklin Lexington Hyundai, driven by family. 49-32, Florida leads at the break on the UK Sports Network. Just about ready to go with the second half here at Rupp Arena, where Florida leads Kentucky 49-32. Our game is presented by UK Healthcare, the official healthcare partner of the BBN, and Kentucky's #1 hospital. Florida 21-1 when it leads at halftime. Kentucky 6-9 when it trails, but this is a big hole for the Cats to try to dig out of. Oweh is leading the charge with 17, but he needs some help, Goose.
He really does. And Tom, let me say this as I sit here and I'm looking at the stat sheet and I'm seeing some stuff. And I know this is going to maybe sound weird for me to be saying, but I don't know that Kentucky, except for a couple of stretches, has played all that bad, okay? I think Florida is a lot responsible for that, okay? Because Florida is that good. I mean, I look at them and I'm thinking, shoot, man, nobody in the country is going to even get close to them. But so Kentucky hadn't played all that poorly, but like I say, the main thing I would like to see is an adjustment of this team mentally. I mean, their approach. What are we going to do now to get ourselves back in this game? And for me, that means magnify the effort you put in the first half 5 times, maybe 10 times what you did. And if you do that, you get back in the games, couple shots fall, they miss a couple, and it could be a different game.
Florida made 12 of 18 shots inside the three-point line. Kentucky was 6 of 19. The Gators had 3 blocks, but they affected many more shots than that number suggests. And the teams that have beaten them have been able to shoot 50% or better on the 2-point shots. That's one area where Kentucky will have to improve in the second half if it's going to make a rally. Cats ball going left to right. Starters out there for both teams. Oweh left wing. Aberdeen comes to get it. Fakes the 3 from the top. Slides right. Can't get in the lane. Throws it back over to Oweh. Oweh driving left to the lane. Gets to the rim. And swatted away by Condon.
Boy, see, 1 7-footer.
How? Going the other way. Oweh ran down and almost knocked the ball away and caught it, but he couldn't catch up to it, and it goes out of bounds off his hand.
Those kind of plays. Now, see, if Oweh did that, and if I was on that bench or out there on the floor, I'm going to him, giving him 5 and getting him pumped up, because that's the kind of play you can build from, that kind of effort.
Flan brings it out front for the Gators. Over to Houck. They lob it into Chandler. He's guarded by Jelavic. Ball's knocked away by Chandler. Chandler picks it up. Knocked away again, and Kentucky's got a steal. Outlet to Chandler. Goes for the dunk at the other end and missed it off the back of the iron. Challenged by Condon. Here's Lee down the lane. Scoops it up at the rim, and it rolls off no good. Tapped and controlled by Chandler on the right baseline. He's buried under the basket, goes up, missed the shot, and Moreno has the ball taken away by Chandler, who puts it up and in.
No, you can't do that.
Moreno just took it away from him.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. You can't give that to him without putting him on the floor with you.
51-32, Florida. That's had a couple of opportunities there to cut into it. Here's Jelavic, top of the circle. He'll take it. Missed it. Rebounded by Moreno. Left block. Moreno goes up and scores it with a left hand right around Chandler.
Bring it right back.
Big fella bringing the fight. 51-34.
Still got to get Aberdeen and Collins involved in Kentucky's offense.
Get it down to Chandler. Left block. Out to Condon. Dribbles right. All the way down to the baseline. Got his back turned to Jelavic. Picks up his dribble. Throws it out to Boogie Flan. Flan works his way down the right side of the lane. Pull up 10-footer. Bounces off. Rebound snatched by Oweh. He'll drive it up the middle of the floor for Kentucky. Now picks up the pace. Goes by Lee. Gets to the rim. Lays it up. No good. Rebound Jelavic. Out to Aberdeen. Over to Chandler. Open three. No. Rebound tapped out. Lee's got it. Racing the other way for Florida. Lee up the left sideline. Cut off by Chandler to Flan. Back to Lee. It was deflected by Chandler. Florida rescues it. Houck into the paint. Running jump hooks. No good. And a foul. Offensive foul. Chandler pushed off.
And see, on that shot by Colin Chandler, Tom, that's why I've been screaming for him to take shots. Because if you don't get your first clear look, and if it takes a clear look for you to get a shot, if it doesn't come to this late in the game, there's no way you're going to make that. So you have to create a couple, man. And if it's a poor shot, it's a poor shot. We'll live with that.
But that's what you're out there to do.
That's right. You're out there to do that.
Aberdeen bounces it to Chandler right of the circle. Guarded by Lee. Backs out. 15 to shoot between the circle straight away. Chandler slides left. And an offensive foul on Moreno as he tried to execute the short roll for the pass by Chandler. They call Moreno for the push-off. That's his third. First on Kentucky.
See, when Colin Chandler came up and caught the ball that time, Lee is listed at 6'4". Is he 6'1"? Maybe Colin's about 4 inches taller.
So let it fly.
So he's got to shoot that one. Take it.
Lee goes through the lane and then throws it out front to Hanlogton. Leave him wide open. Doesn't want it. Gives it back to Lee, and he gets caught by a hand of Chandler reaching in to try to knock the ball away. Looks like Lee might have gotten poked in the eye.
Yeah, but Lee is listed at 6'4". Now, if he's 6'4", I'm 6'8", okay? but Colin, he's not that good a defensive player. You know what I mean?
Now they're going to take a look at that. Since it was Todd Golden is boasting that his player got hit at the side of the head. So they're going to take a look at this with 17-19 to play. Florida leading 51-34. Kentucky is more physical. I'll give them that so far.
Yeah, they are coming.
But they're still not making shots.
You have to cash in on some of those.
34% shooting for the Cats. To the Gators, 58%. Subscribe to the Kentucky Basketball Podcast. It's presented by UK Federal Credit Union, and it is available for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, and the official UK Athletics app.
Boy, I don't even know if Colin hit him in the face on that replay, and it was the best look on that replay. I don't even know if he hit him in the face.
Chandler was trying to fight over the screen to stay with Lee. And that's where the foul came.
And I give Colin some credit. He's trying to fight over that screen. But the way to play that is to go into that guy who is being screened, go into his body and not into the screener. Step up and ride him over top of that screen as opposed to letting yourself get screened and then have to reach out like that.
Florida, here's the call.
Unsuccessful is a common foul and will be experienced.
Yeah, just a common
So it's
foul.
a common foul, which will be the second of Kentucky and the first on Chandler. Florida going for its first regular season series sweep of the Wildcats. Wildcats since the 2018 season. Kentucky trailing 51-34 with 17:19 to play. After today's action, we'll know where Kentucky will be in the SEC tournament. And at the moment, everything from Wednesday to Friday is still in play. Land for Gators. Gives it to Condon, left of the circle. Dribbles to his left. Pass down to the post. Deflected away by Oweh and stolen by Jelavic on the deflection.
Boy, good job handling Hawk at 6'9".
Oweh's doing it all.
He is.
Aberdeen, middle of the floor. Pass to his left to Chandler. Feeds it into Moreno on the left block. Cross-court pass is intercepted by Houck. He tried to throw that all the way across without any angle to the right corner, and Houck read it and stole it. Pass into the post to Hanlogton. Out to Houck.
Good
His
job,
three
Oweh.
of the left wing is deflected by Oweh. Rebounded by Moreno. Kentucky's got it again.
Great
Aberdeen
job.
up the left side. Aberdeen. Couple of between the legs dribbles. Feeds Moreno. Bounce pass under for a dunk by Jelavic.
Pretty good ball movement there.
Some of the best we've seen today.
Yes.
Been too rare.
Bodies moving and the ball moving.
That's how you attack that physical extension of their defense. Here's Lee on the right side with a three that's short. The rebound deflected off the hand of Oweh. Tried to grab it, and it popped off his hand. Condon's got it on the right side. Out to Flan. A second chance for Florida. Flan driving. Lobs it up to Condon. Makes the catch. Underneath. Reverse layup. Good. Caught it on the left side. Slid over and put it in
Just
on the
way
right.
too easy there.
53-36. Kentucky back on the attack. Oweh, left wing, takes it down to the corner, makes a U-turn, moves out beyond the arc to Jelavic straight away, left side to Oweh.
You're not going to
Pass
get
into the post is deflected by Hanlogton and trying to run it down.
I think it's Florida. Nope.
They're going to say Kentucky ball. The officials were all looking at each other for somebody to make a decisive call, and that'll get us to immediate timeout with 15:47 left to play. It's Florida 53 and Kentucky 36. This is the UK Sports Network. 47 to play. 53-36. Florida leading Kentucky. The cheerleaders just spelled out Kentucky. The Celebrity Y was one of the four unforgettables. John Pelfrey, the pride of Paintsville High School, came out to be the Celebrity Y today. We talk Kentucky basketball on the Mark Pope Show, presented by UK Healthcare. Coming up Monday night at 6 Eastern. It's followed by the Kenny Brooks Show, presented by Bluegrass Hearing Clinic, and BBN Radio, presented by Clark's Pump and Shop. Make sure you're with us Monday night, 6 Eastern on the UK Sports Network. We'll know what the SEC tournament path looks like for the Wildcats. By that time, we'll actually know it by the end of this day, obviously. Georgia, with about a minute and a half to play down in Starkville, is leading Mississippi State 96-88. And if the Dogs go on to win, they would be at 10-8 in the SEC after they had a good closing week. They upset Alabama back on Tuesday night. Missouri lost today. They're at 10-8. Vandy won. They are 11-7. So is Tennessee. Texas A&M will be favored to win at LSU tonight. If they do, they'll go to 11-7. Kentucky, with a win, goes to 11-7. With a loss, 10-8. The problem for the Cats, a lot of the tiebreakers, the teams that they'd be tied with, don't work in their favor because of those wins by teams like Missouri and Georgia here at Rupp Arena earlier this season. The Goose, the Wildcats are playing hard defensively and doing a better job against the Gators on the defensive end, but they're not getting much payoff on the offensive end for it.
Well, they're not putting any pressure on Florida to play their defense any differently. And, you know, when you need points from a couple of guys, and it appears as though they're not really that focused on figuring out ways to get shots, it makes that defense really, really much easier for Florida. And again, Denzel Aberdeen and Colin Chandler have to start creating some looks.
Cats just 2 for 9 so far here in the second half. Garrison's in at the 5 spot. Dioubate at the 4. Aberdeen stops at the left elbow, picks up his dribble. Dioubate comes out to get it. 2 to shoot. Dioubate drives in deep, gets to the rim, missed it. Tapped up, no good by Garrison. Gotta finish those. And he fouls Houck, who came down with the rebound. He just tried to tap that in, and it came off the rim as Kentucky's struggles to score in the paint continues. Just 14 points in the paint, half of what the Gators have. Garrison's foul was his second, the team's third. But Kentucky now 2 of 11 in this half, and Florida comes back on the attack. Here's Condon straight away. Dribbles to his left, a whistle away from the ball, and they're going to call Oweh, I think, since he was trying to fight through a screen to stay with Houck. It is on Ortega, that is his second.
Well, but I just love what Oweh is doing. He's delivering a punch for every punch he takes, and that's ultimately going to have to play out in his favor.
Flan gets around Aberdeen, gets in deep, and then dropped off the pass that's knocked around and stolen by Kentucky. Feed ahead to Chandler, dunks it at the other end off the bounce pass from Aberdeen. First points of the day for Chandler on a dunk. 53-38. Pass down to Chinyalu in the low post, working against Dioubate. Jump hook over him, bounces off, no good, and Garrison clears the rebound. Good defense by Dioubate. He forced Chinyalu to go out about a step.
Yeah, you have to be physical with him.
Oweh turns the corner, gets in the paint, goes for the bucket, missed the shot. It's tapped out front by Houck, and the Gators are running the other way. Flan driving for the basket, gets in deep, puts it in, and a foul on Aberdeen.
But you saw what happened right there when I'm talking about those guys creating shots for themselves. I mean, Boogie Flan just goes right down the floor, and Denzel had pretty good position on him. But he's not saying, well, just because you're there, that doesn't mean I'm going to take the ball to the basket. I know you understand what I'm talking about, Tom, but I'm just pointing out the difference in the mental approach.
Flan's free throw's good to complete the three-point play. He'll go out. Or no, Condon will go out. Isaiah Brown checks in. Flan with 8 points now. That was the first foul on Aberdeen, and 4 already in the half against Kentucky. It's 56-38 as the Gators equal their largest lead of the day. Oweh went to the rim that last time with that left-hand layup. He struggled to finish those down in Gainesville. The size of the Gators makes it imperative to come to the 2-foot jump stop. Here's Aberdeen on the left wing, can't get a shot, feeds it to Garrison, hands it back to Aberdeen. His jumper comes up way short. Karem's back to him for an open three. Rims out, no good. Dioubate rebounds, right baseline.
Shoot
back
another
to Aberdeen. One more.
Shoot another one. Don't even think twice about it. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead and play your game.
56-41, Florida. Klazar gets into the paint, cut off, feeds it to Houck, going down the lanes, blocked out of bounds by Dioubate.
I mean, hopefully that'll get DA going and thinking more about offense.
It's just the second field goal of the day for Aberdeen. Flan goes away out front. It's batted away by Aberdeen, out of bounds, off him, as Klazar was right there too. They're looking to
see
the bench to see if they can make it a challenge here, because you had 2 players going for the ball and no signal yet from the video crew, so play on.
That was a we won't do this one.
Here's Flan down deep on the right side. Walks it to the middle, 2-hand pass across to Brown. Back to Flan. Got to pull up, shoot a long 3. Good. Boogie Flan with his second 3, shooting 22% on the season, but he's been shooting them better of late.
Yeah, he's made 12 on the year in the SEC season coming into this game.
59-41 Florida. Chandler drops it off to Garrison. Comes into the paint. Left-hand layup. Good. Moved right around the house.
Good aggressive move. Good aggressive move.
6 for Garrison. Ball's knocked out of bounds in the right corner at the other end by Aberdeen. Florida will play it back in there with 13:18 to play. 59-43. Florida throws it into backcourt to Flan. Passes left side to Brown. Brown looking to feed Chinyalu. Can't get it to him. Now he reposts. They get it to him, left of the lane. Garrison bodies up. Chinyalu spins to the baseline and puts it in with the left hand. Pretty move. He's been going to that right hand all the time and made a nice move that time to get back to the left hand and bank it in. Leads back to 18. Aberdeen down the lane. Got fouled by Chinyalu. Puts up the shot, and there's the foul call.
I mean, that's what I've been calling for from him. Now, if I can get Colin Chandler just to look at the defense and say, just because you're there, I'm not passing the ball. I mean, those opportunities are there, and it's good. You may not make it, but you might get to the free throw line.
2 shots for Denzel. First one, good. 3 of 3 at the line. Mr. Johnson checking in. Chandler goes out. Handlogged in. Back in along with Lee for Florida.
Now, Florida's guards have been assigned with not even letting the guards get a look from the three-point line. If Jasper can get a look,
good.
I
Aberdeen
feel
hits 3.
pretty good about him knocking down a shot.
61-45, Florida. Florida guards have been so much better in the last month. That's taken the Gators game to another level. Clavsar out deep on the right side. Comes off a screen, working against Oweh. Gets around it. Goes down to the right baseline. Steps back. 15-foot fall away. No good. Rebound. Dioubate. Dioubate leads the break up the middle of the floor. Looks over to his left. He's going for the basket. Gets in deep. Missed the shot, though. He was looking for the foul and didn't get the basket or the foul. Lee the other way for Florida. Gets into the lane. Kicks it to the left corner. Brown. Quick 3. No good. Rebounded on the backside by Aberdeen for Kentucky.
Just need to get a good look here.
Aberdeen up the left side. Works his way down the lane and a
I don't
foul
mind
on
that.
Florida.
I don't mind that at all. Just keep pursuing.
Clavsar. His second. 3 on the Gators.
I mean, if you're going to try to convince me that Clavsar and Xavier Lee are the best defensive players we're going to see in this league, you got a lot of talking to do. And Kentucky's guards to this point, they're starting to change, have played like those guys are that good defensively.
Jelavic and Moreno have checked in for Kentucky. They get it to Moreno at the left elbow. Hands it to Oweh. Oweh at the high post. Throws it out to Johnson. Johnson gets open for a 3. It's good on the top of the key.
I just knew if he got a little bit of a look, I felt really good about him making shots.
And it was just a little bit, but you got to take
That's all,
those.
but you got to take that.
Here's Howe, right of the circle. Picks up his dribble. Brown comes to get it. 11:45 to play. It's 61-48. Big chance that Kentucky can get a stop. Howe driving to the right corner. Cutoff spins into a double team. Throws it to Brown. Brown driving for the basket.
Nice.
Blocked by Moreno at the rim.
Nice, Malachi.
Johnson's got it. Lobs it up to Aberdeen. Aberdeen goes by Lee. Steps back. Straight away 3. No good. Tap back to Aberdeen. Try it again.
Short.
No. And Florida's got it.
Boy, a couple of good looks right there.
That would have cut it to 10. Here's Houck down the lane. Wraparound pass. Deflected off. Handlogged back to Houck. Over to Brown. His 3's no good. It comes back to Lee. Back to Brown. Right corner. Another 3. Good.
Gotta get those.
First 3 of the day. 17 on the season for Brown, is shooting 44% behind the arc in SEC play. Here's Oweh down the lane. Goes up for a shot that's blocked by Handlogged, and you can't go right into the face of those shot blockers who are 7 feet tall. Here's Lee down the lane, gets to the rim, missed it, tapped up and in by Howe. And that'll get us to a timeout.
They can hurt you so many ways. So many ways.
Timeout on the floor with 10:44 to play. Not sure who called it. We'll get to that when we come back. I think it may have been Florida. 66-48. Cats had a chance to cut it to 10. Timeout for Kentucky. 66-48 now. The Gators have pushed the lead back with 5 straight points. They lead it. And we'll be right back on the UK Sports Network. 66-48 Florida. 10:44 left to play in the game. Our game is presented by UK Healthcare, official healthcare partner of the BBN and Kentucky's #1 hospital. Hard to make a comeback when you can't make shots. 7 of 21 in this half for the Cats from the field. Or correction, that's Florida, 7 of 21 in the half, but Kentucky 6 of 20 and 35% from the game. So they picked up their defense. They've got Florida to miss shots, but the Cats not able to make enough to put any heat on the Gators just yet. This Florida team reminds me a little bit of that 03 Kentucky team that was a good team, but nothing special until about early January when they transformed into a defensive juggernaut and won 26 in a row. And Florida lost at home, I think late last month, to Auburn. And since then, they have won 10 straight and just have dominated their opponents.
Yeah, sometimes you need to get a loss to make the message that the coaching staff is sending to you, make that message resonate a little bit more. And Florida finally got on board with that. the big difference, I think, overall is that they are getting some really good play from their guards. And when you think about it, with all the bigs and stuff happening everywhere else, there's no reason why their guards should not shoot the ball well, because they get a lot of open shots.
Aberdeen getting a breather. Chandler's back in. Jasper Johnson running the point. They get it into him. Clamsar in backcourt to put a little pressure on him. Johnson throws it across the line to Moreno. Gives it left side to Oweh. Johnson coming off the screen. Pops open in the left corner, but a quick closeout from Clamsar. Oweh walks it out front. Standing and dribbling. Passes to Moreno to his right. Gives it back to Oweh. Drives to the free throw line with a jumper that comes up short.
A lot of shots hitting the front of the rim.
Yes, they are.
For Kentucky.
That's maybe a little tight pressing, trying to rally. Lee down the lane, gets right to the rim of the shot, rims out, and it's rebounded by Jelavic. Outlet to Oweh. Two-hand pass up into front court to Johnson. Jab step, he's going to shoot a three. It's no good. That one's short. Rebounded by Condon at the front of the left side of the rim. 66-48 Florida as we hit the 10-minute mark. Lee comes off a screen, stops at the right elbow, passes across, missed the target, but Clamsar there to rescue it. Clamsar out deep on the left side, pressured by Johnson. 15 to shoot. Puts a pass down low, and a foul called as he tried to get it to Condon. It's Chandler reaching around, swatting it away. Chandler's 6'5", Condon 6'11". That's a tough match.
Yeah, but he had done what he should have, what he needed to do to push him way out in the corner to catch the ball. You've now won that little war right there. The battle's not over, but you've won that little skirmish by getting him off the block.
Timeout on the floor, 9:48 left to play. It's 6 fouls on Kentucky, so Florida will be in the bonus on the next one. The Gators lead at 66-48 on the UK Sports Network.
At the
Cat fans, you can help the Markey Cancer Center in its fight against cancer. Grab a souvenir cup for a chance to win great prizes like a VIP trip to a Cats away game, a visit Myrtle Beach vacation, or Wildcat merchandise. 66-48. Florida leading Kentucky. The Gators scored the first 11 points of the game as Kentucky couldn't buy one. And the Cats then rallied to cut it to 20-19 near the midway point of the first half. And then a spate of turnovers keyed a 13-0 Florida run. And the Cats have been trying to dig back out of that hole ever since.
Yeah, you know, when you get off to that kind of start, and it takes a lot of energy to cut that against a team like Florida. Kentucky did. But then you relax just a minute defensively, and then you allow Florida to run off another 8 or 10 points. Now you find yourself back down double digits again. So it's just tough to keep doing that.
Florida's ball, left baseline after the Kentucky foul. Comes into Condon. Condon guarded by Oweh. Condon lobs it down to Chinyalu, and they call a foul on Jelavic. He allowed Chinyalu to get him buried under the basket. And Drake could reach around.
And what I'm laughing about is Jelavic climbed up his back, man. I mean, he was riding riding him like he's riding a horse there, man. He was all over him.
You got to play him like Dioubate does before that catch.
Oh, yes.
Free throw good for Chinyalu's 11th point. Not much that Florida doesn't do well.
That's right.
Free throws.
That's exactly right, man. I mean, I got to give them a lot of credit. Put together a pretty good group over there.
UConn, the fourth-ranked team in the country. Free throw good as Chinyalu hits them both. And the lead is 20 for the first time today. It's 68-48. Just a moment ago, Kentucky had a three in the air that would have cut it to 10. But with that UConn loss, Florida seemingly with a chance to play its way into a 1 seed with a win today and a good showing next week. Kentucky works it down low to Moreno, who puts it in on the high-low feed from Jelavic. One of the better possessions of the game.
Nicely run play coming out of that huddle.
68-50. Lee down the lane. Angles left. Blocked by Jelavic. Out of bounds to Florida.
But I love what Lee is doing. I would love to see Colin Chandler just lower his head and take that thing to the paint. Now, he didn't get the basket or to the line that time, but it puts a lot of pressure on him.
Condon dribbles over to the right, hands it to Brown. He's in an open three, and he'll take it, miss it, and it caroms out of bounds to Kentucky.
I mean, I'd love to see Colin just catch it on the wing, go over the screen, and say, I'm getting to the paint. I'm getting there.
Halk and Flan check into the Florida lineup. It's Chandler, Jelavic, Oweh, Johnson, and Moreno for Kentucky. Johnson working it up in backcourt, pressure by Boogie Flan. As we go into 9 minutes to play in the game. Johnson goes off the screen, gets down the left side of the lane, kicks to the corner, open three, Jelavic hit it. Good drive and kick by Johnson.
And he didn't hesitate on that catch.
No, he
and
didn't.
shoot.
68-53 Florida. Condon, right side, gets it to Lee. Lee drives it down to the right corner, works along the baseline, now backs out, feeds Condon right of the lane. Got his back to Jelavic, backing down, turns, left-hand leaner, comes off, no good. Moreno had it. Chandler grabbed it away, but lost it out of bounds.
And look, I for Malachi.
What you're about to say is easier to say than do.
You know, I mean, going against Chandler, man, that is nothing easy. I get it, man. He's a man.
But you just can't let him take that ball away.
No.
Here's Moreno down the lane. Overhead pass to the corners, deflected and lost and turned over. Johnson trying to fight for it, but couldn't come up with it. Florida running the other way. Open three, right corner. Flan missed it. Foul. Oweh hit him on the shot, and it'll be three for Boogie Flan. And for Ortega, that is his third. It's the second time Malachi's tried to throw it across the court with that flat angle, and Florida just shoots that gap and steals it.
But when he catches it inside the SEC mark in the middle of the paint, when he catches it there should be just one thought on his mind. Go to the basket and at least get to the line.
Free throw, no good for Flan.
Now
Two
look,
more coming.
I know he's a freshman, and I know people say, well, yeah, but this time of the year he's not a freshman. Well, he is still a freshman, especially because he can't learn these kind of lessons against bigs in practice. So he's going to be so much better next year and the year after should he decide to stay.
Aberdeen and Oweh out. 8:14 to play, so they'll take a quick blow before the next media timeout. 69-53 Florida, and one more shot coming for Boogie Flan. Missed it. Rebounded by Chandler, and a foul on Flan. Tried to go after his own miss. He knew it was off at the moment he released it, and he commits his first. That's 4 on Florida.
Tom, I think part of the reason that was called was because he left way before the ball hit the rim.
Should have called a violation.
So they should have called a violation. So I don't know that he fouled him, but you can't let him get away with that.
Moreno at the top of the circle, gives it left side to Aberdeen. Aberdeen gets it to Jelavic. Jelavic dribbles over to his left. Needs somebody to pass it to. Johnson comes to get it. Johnson goes right, crossover dribble, gets into the lane, angles left, floats it up, comes off, no good. And Florida's got Lee behind the defense, and he puts it up at the other end and scores it. Leaked out. Florida will do that because they have so much confidence in their bigs to get the rebound. 71-53 Gators.
I've been there and done that, man, I tell you.
71-53, and here's a kick the ball call on Chinulu as Aberdeen tried to feed Moreno rolling to the
I don't even think that was a kick.
Timeout on the floor with 7:30 to play. All Gators, 71-53. They lead it at Rupp Arena on the UK Sports Network. 7:30 to play. And if you're looking for our key scholarship, key play of the game, well, you have to think really more of a key sequence. It was 11-0 Florida, then Kentucky had it down to 2019. And again, about that same point in the game where Texas A&M went on a 13-0 run to turn the tide. Well, the Gators went on a 13-0 run, and it was fueled by 3 Kentucky live ball turnovers that led the points at the other end for Florida. Since 1999, $578 million in scholarships and grants funded by lottery proceeds have been used at UK. The Kentucky Lottery truly is fueling imagination and funding education. Florida shooting just 31% from the field in this half, but Kentucky only 32%. And it makes a comeback next to impossible. 19 assists, 8 turnovers for the Gators, 14 assists, 9 turnovers for Kentucky. You look around at some of the stats. Kentucky is -3 on the boards, blocked 4 shots. There are, you look, until you look to the shooting numbers, you think, okay, Kentucky's probably in this. And then you look at the mismatch at in terms of field goal percentage for the game, it's 48% Gators, 35% Kentucky.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying at halftime when I said Kentucky's numbers look good. They haven't played that poorly, except the Gators are who they are.
And the poor shooting for Kentucky, some of that you can attribute to Kentucky when you take shots into 7-footers, come to 2 feet instead. You can do a few of those things. But the bottom line is Florida's very good defensively.
Yes.
Kentucky's ball on the side. Right side. Chandler will play it in. Gets it into Moreno. Gives it right back to Chandler. Now beyond the arc. Shoot that thing. He shot those that deep before. Aberdeen dribbles over to the left. Reverses it to Moreno at the top. Comes right side to Chandler. Chandler comes out front. Hits Oweh curling into the paint for a 12-footer. Good.
Yes.
And first points of the second half for Oweh. 19 on the day.
He's had a lot of attention in this second half.
71-55 Florida. Oweh in his final game in Rupp Arena has battled from the start. Pass to Chinyalu's deflected out of bounds by Moreno about 18 feet away from the basket. So Florida will play it in right in front of its own bench.
Another thing I like with Florida, man, they are talking on every possession. They are...
Comes into Condon and a foul away from the balls. Chinyalu and Moreno were mixing it up. And I think they're going to call it on Moreno.
Well, of course they are, because he gets no respect. That's what I mean.
His fourth.
Whether he initiated it or not.
He and Chinyalu just got tangled up.
Hold?
Yeah.
Was that a hook and hold?
Because what it looked like with Chinyalu on the replay, he got his arm tangled up underneath the right elbow of Moreno.
Yeah, they want to look at this. I mean, that was a hook and hold.
Moreno and Chinyalu are fighting for position. Little wrestling really is what it looks like. But then in that tangle is where Chinyalu sticks out his right arm, and he's got Moreno's arm hooked, and then tries to clear out with that right arm and pushing off there, and pretty clearly looks like a hook and hold.
And I said it before.
Hook and hold and push, actually.
He's a freshman going against a seasoned junior, so he's not going to get any respect.
No good. Oweh with a rebound. Oh, fate intervened.
Yes.
But it's 4 fouls on Moreno. 6:50 to play. Aberdeen, middle of the floor. Angles to his right. Now back to his left. Pitches to the corner to Jelavic. Out to Oweh. He's going to go up and shoot a 3, and it's short, and it's rebounded to Howe. How many shots have been short in this half?
I'll tell you, that usually means you're a little bit fatigued, but boy, this time of the year, there's no reason to be fatigued.
Howe out front. Passes to his right to Flan. Condon comes to get it at the top. Lob into Chinyalu. Deflected by Moreno on a steal for Kentucky.
I love that Moreno is learning lessons.
Yeah,
man.
he is. He grown up.
I love it.
Aberdeen
Take
goes
that,
left,
Vincent.
down the lane, gets in deep, jump stop, pump fake, goes up and scores it. Stop with 2 feet.
2 feet, man. Pump fake
That's
is
the key.
available.
71-57 Florida. 6 minutes to play.
Boy, 2 more stops.
Flan, middle of the floor. Walks it to his left, tracked by Aberdeen. We're going to 6 minutes to play. Chinyalu, left of the lane. Bumping with Moreno, turns, missed the shot, tapped out. Kentucky's got it. Moreno, battling. Here's Oweh, drives it to the left elbow, makes a U-turn, moves out beyond the 3-point line. Big possession for Kentucky.
It's really big.
Oweh throws it to Moreno, gets it back. Oweh turns the corner, goes for the rim, puts it up, got fouled by Howe. Couldn't quite get the ball up over the rim for a chance at an and one, but Howe commits the foul. His second.
Boy, guess what? Lee had already leaked out past half court when that shot went up.
So they fuel that transition game that is so potent for the game. 2 shots for Ortega, 1 for 1 at the line. Rolls in. Last 4 games, he had made 22 of 28, 79%. So he went through a period where his free throw percentage dipped, but he's been dialed in lately. And he's hit 2 today, and that's another 20-point game. 22 of them against SEC competition now.
Man, I used to think about those free throws as a gift. That's a gift, man. I'm going to take as many of these gifts I can get.
All right, they've got it to 12 with 5.5 to play. They're going to make a run. It has to come now.
Yes.
Lee's got it, middle of the floor. Dribbles over to his left, gives it to Flan. Flan comes into the circle, hesitates, backs out. Hands it to his right to Condon. Gives it to Lee. switch. Lee throws it back out to Howe. Dumps it into Condon. 7 to shoot.
Gotta get some help.
Condon
Gotta
in
get
the
some
paint.
help.
Throws it out to Howe. 4 seconds to shoot. Back to Condon. 2 seconds to shoot. Condon forces up a contested three, and he banked it in.
Oh, that killer. That's a killer. That is a killer.
A tremendous defensive possession, and he banks in a three straight out in front of the basket. Aberdeen, left wing. Hands it to Oweh. 4:48 to play. 73-59 Florida.
They're too good to get that kind of break.
Oweh feeds Moreno. He's going for the basket, flips it up, comes off, no good. Rebound Dioubate, then he lost it. Florida's got it. Flan throws it up to Lee, feeds it ahead. It's deflected by Chandler. Dioubate leaps into the air and grabs it. Up to Aberdeen. Angles to the middle of the floor. Makes a U-turn and comes back out front with 4:26 to play. Aberdeen slides left. Double team. Keeps his dribble though. Pushes off. Steps back. Can't get the three. Over to Dioubate. Dioubate fakes the handoff. Goes in deep. Flips up a left-hand leaner that goes in. He's muscled his way in there deep.
Yes, he did.
73-61. They called that a 2 for Condon. 73-61 Florida. Handlocked and straight away. Pass left. Stolen by Oweh. Howe drives. Goes for the dunk and missed it. Aberdeen's got the break. Throws it ahead to Oweh. He's going for the basket. Flips it up. Won't go, but he got fouled by Handlocked.
See, that's the kind of break we needed. That one went down on the other end. We need a break like that. That should have fallen.
Timeout on the floor with 3:53 to play. Oweh will be at the line with a chance to cut it to 10 when we come back. Florida 73, Kentucky 61 on the UK Sports Network. 3 minutes, 53 seconds left. Oweh about to step to the free throw line. That's 6 fouls on Florida. So Kentucky will be in the bonus on the next one. The Cats were down 20, but they've cut it down to 73-61, and Oweh with a chance to trim it to 10. Kentucky has been night and day difference on the defensive end, but it's just been a struggle to score against the size of Florida. Aberdeen did the right thing there later, a few moments ago, Goose, when he got in deep and came to a jump stop. That's what we're talking about with Ortega or Collin, is when you get in deep, you can't take it into those shot blockers. You got to stop and either pass or make them maybe buy your pump fake.
Yeah, it gives you so many more options. Once you leave the floor with that 1 foot, you're pretty much locked into taking the shot. But you get 2 feet. Now the defense has to converge so you can get yourself a pump fake. The defense comes, you kick it out to the wing. Somebody could be open there. So yeah, doing some good stuff right here.
Kentucky just 37% for the day, but they've forced Florida into 31% shooting in this half after a 64% first half. Georgia defeated Mississippi State 102-96. So the Dogs will finish regular season play at 10-8. That's what Kentucky will be, unless it can mount a miraculous comeback here in the final 3 minutes and 53 seconds. Oweh at the line is 3 for 3.
Kentucky's trying. I'll give them some credit for that, man. They are finally consistently effective on both ends.
Free throw rolls in for Ortega. That's 3 in a row that has hit the front of the rim and just rolled and ping-ponged around and found their way into the basket. One more to cut it to 10. And it does the same thing.
Hitting the front of the rim. And if he's a little fatigued, I could maybe understand it, but it just got to...
Here comes the BBN. Cats picking up in backcourt. It's a 10-point game. Flan's got it in front court for Florida. Aberdeen looking into his eyes as the pass goes right side to Lee. Lee gets it to Condon. Garrison's in at the 5 spot now. Here's Howe straight away. Pass left to Lee. Shot clock's at 9 seconds. They get it into Condon and a foul on Garrison. There's 8 on the shot clock. Garrison will send Condon to the line for 2 shots.
Boy, you work that hard defensively. Please do not bail them out by reaching over the body.
It's a bad habit Brandon has. Hustles can make some good things happen defensively, but the reaches and the pushes that invariably get caught.
Yeah, see, part of his responsibility is to push Condon off the block.
2 shots for for Condon, 66%. He's 1 for 2 today. No good.
Push him off the block, Tom. Once he accomplishes that, now it's okay to just square up behind him and not let him move where he wants to move, but reaching across just takes you out of it.
Gators just 11 of 19 at the line today. One more shot for Condon. Hits it. He's 10th point. 74-63 Florida. Chandler is back into the 5 spot for the Gators. Aberdeen, middle of the floor, works it to his right. Chandler comes off the screen, makes the catch, launches a 3. Short. Rebound chased down by Dioubate, though, and they call a foul on the Gators.
Well, and Lee is trying to say he got hit in the neck. But because of the way he faked it out in the first half and sent the officials to the table to talk about whether there was a flagrant or not, they're not even going to listen to him this time.
Garrison back in. Moreno had come in.
Funny how he's okay now after you thought he might have gotten his head knocked off his shoulders, you know, the way he reacted.
Wanted a bonus for Dioubate. He's 2 for 4 at the line, 64%. 3:16 to play. The Cats need every point they can get.
Yes.
It's good.
Yes, no way to focus.
He's playing so well right now.
Yeah, he is. He just finally, I say finally, he has known. But he knows his role now, man, and he's accepted it.
And playing it well.
And you like it. I love it.
He can get it to single digits for the first time since it was 28-19 with about 7 minutes to play. And it bounces around and comes off no good. 74-64, Florida's ball. Flan comes across the line, 3:10 to play. Aberdeen digs in. Flan goes left. Just to the elbow, keeps his dribble. Now walks it back out front. 15 on the shot clock. He jogs over to the right. Dioubate switches off on him. They get Aberdeen on.
Need some help. Need some help, Brandon.
18-footer
Let him
straight
shoot
away.
that.
Missed
Let him
it.
shoot that.
And the rebound chased down by Dioubate.
Good job helping by Brandon Garrison.
They helped off Chandler, invited him to shoot, and he took
Shoot
it.
that.
Aberdeen over to Dioubate. Dioubate, 15 feet out on the left side, throws it out to Aberdeen. Cats down 10. Aberdeen, left wing, double team, bounces to Dioubate. Works it down to the baseline. Pump fake, goes up and scores.
Yeah.
10 for Dioubate. 74-66 Florida. 2:26 to play. Vivian Lee walks it to the middle of the floor in the offensive end for the Florida Gators. Moves forward, slides left off the screen, drops it off to Condon, a kicking the ball call on Kentucky.
And that's a bad one because it resets the shot clock to 20 seconds.
Little pocket pass there that I think Dioubate was ruled for kicking. So 2:12 to play. It's 74-66 Florida. Kentucky was down 68-48. About 8.5 minutes to play. Comes into Condon, working along the baseline. Left side leans in, puts it up and in through contact.
Well, Mo kind of bit on a pump fake and allowed him to get the baseline.
10-point lead for the Gators, under 2 to play. Kentucky's got to go quickly. Aberdeen, middle of the floor. Aberdeen angles left. Can't turn the corner. Keeps his dribble up. Gets into the paint. Goes up for a 15-footer. Got it.
Been wanting to see that all day, man. Don't allow yourself to be defended.
1:45 is all that remains. 8-point lead for the Gators. Flan harassed by Aberdeen. Keeps his dribble in the middle of the
No
floor.
foul now.
Not going
No
anywhere.
foul.
Shot clock still at 29 seconds. Now it's down to 20.
Oh, it should be a lot less than that.
1:45 on the game clock. They're going to take a look at this and figure out what the shot clock should be. It was just stuck on 29, and the Kentucky bench was going crazy. Understandable.
Well, because the Kentucky had certainly burned up more time off of that shot clock than at 20 seconds.
Florida has 2 baskets since the 7:30 mark, and one of them was that bank by Condon from about 18 feet out just ahead of the shot clock.
Oh, that really, really hurt.
That
really
pushed
hurt.
it to 73-59. But Kentucky. Just the fight and the find a way is who they have to be.
Oh.
They're not going to be. They're not the team that is just going to look pretty like Florida can at times and just overpower you.
No.
You have to fight for every inch.
From the very first tick
Yes.
off of that clock to the very last.
That's what they will need to take into the postseason.
Yes, absolutely. Well, they still have not adjusted that. It's said
Al Pacino speech from the football movie Any Given Sunday, fighting for that inch.
Man, well, they take it down to 18, and they take it to 14. That's more like it.
1:30 on the game clock, 14 seconds on the shot clock, and Florida will put the ball in play out near midcourt.
Tom, I wish that little break there had have happened when Kentucky had possession as opposed to Florida having possession, because it gives them a time to collect themselves and they get a little rest. So they will be able to execute better here.
Garrison into the 5 spot, wrestling with Chandler at the left elbow as Houck plays it into Chandler, makes the catch 15 feet out on the left side. Wants to hand it to a guard, gets it to Fland. He's double teamed in the left corner, but he spins out of it, dribbles it back out front, and now the buzzer sounds and
Because
the
shot clock didn't move again.
Yeah, it went to 13 is all from 14. And it had to be, 7-8 seconds at least?
I would think so.
So I don't think it's anybody's finger on a button over there. It's something mechanical that's going wrong with the clock.
It's
the
not.
mechanism.
Boy, we have a very, very professional crew over there on that table, man. They are right.
Those folks are the best.
They are the best in the business.
See them at the SEC tournament next week. So
Yeah.
it's just something with the clock that just keeps sticking. And it has done it now twice, 1 second into the possession. So 1 second goes off the 30-second clock, or 1 second went off the 14-second clock is what it was coming out of this break, and only 1 second went off, and play continued.
And another thing is the officials have a little device on their belt. So when they take the ball out of bounds and that ball comes in and someone touches it, they click that little device. So that is supposed to start the shot clock as well. So it's not on that table over there. It's something mechanical. You're absolutely right.
And now they've set it at 3.9 on the shot clock. So they're saying 10 seconds. 10.1 is what should have come off.
And I'm going to wait just a little while before we settle on that, because they seem to be pretty sure on that. Now they're talking about where they're going to take it. But again, Florida gets a break, so now they get to design a play. And I would be really surprised if it's not something going to the rim. So they get
1.9.
Now it's 1.9. See, that's why I didn't want to say anything too quickly, because there's something going on with that clock.
Our game's presented by UK Healthcare, official healthcare partner of the BBN and Kentucky's #1 hospital.
Now it's at 7 seconds. So that's why I didn't want to say 3.9 until we knew for sure.
So 1:23 on the game clock, 7 on the shot clock. And Florida will play it in on the left side, just in front of the TV crew to our left. The TV in the house today. They tell working with Carl Ravitch and Jimmy Dunn. Plans, looks, gets it into Lee. Lee down the left side of the lane, makes a U-turn, comes back out front. Driving to the baseline. Fall away 15-footer, no good. Air ball, shot clock violation.
Did it hit the
Gotta
rim?
Stop the clock.
Did it hit the rim?
I don't think it did. Florida comes up with the ball, and Lee shoots a 3, and it rattles out.
And Garrison
called for pushing off as he grabbed the rebound. I thought the shot missed the rim, but apparently, I guess it grazed it.
It didn't look like it hit it.
I
But
don't think so either.
I'm sure
But
it
nobody's
did.
looking at it. Must have.
Yeah, nobody's saying anything.
Here's the replay up here. I don't know if we're going to get a look at
Not
it.
going to get a look.
Chandler's at the line for 2 shots. Only 108 remain. Chandler, 3 out of 7 today. 2 shots here. Hits it. He's a 70% shooter.
Checking in for Kentucky is
Moreno back in.
This is Garrison.
This is Garrison's 4th foul. 77-68. This one's no good. Rebounded by Oweh for Kentucky. Cats got to go. Oweh up the left side. He comes into the middle. Changes direction. Steps back. Drives down the right side of the lane. Splits 2 defenders. Puts it up and in at the rim. And a whistle.
Mark Pope calls a timeout.
57 seconds on the clock. Kentucky will take the timeout as Oweh has pulled Kentucky to within 7 with 57.4 on the clock. And last time the Cats were within 7, it was 26-19, way back in the first half when there was just over 7.5 minutes to play. So Kentucky's out of timeouts now. Kentucky came from 6 down in 30 seconds to get Kansas. And the year after you graduated in the 79 season, Kyle Macy, Dwight Anderson fueling that comeback, but they had a little extra help there with a timeout that was called by Kansas that the Jayhawks didn't have, and the Blur drew a charge on an inbounds play, and so Kentucky's going to need some kind of miracle, but they are within 7 with 57 seconds left.
Well, I saw a highlight on Facebook that high schooler, young lady, scored about 8 points in 10 seconds or something like that. She made a shot, got a couple of steals, and put it back. So I'll take a little bit of that kind of action here.
Kentucky's played Florida's tougher than anybody in the Gators' current win streak.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And even if you go back to down in Gainesville, nobody's been that close. But, man.
So Kentucky is going to try to come up with a steal here as Boogie Flan will inbound the ball against full court pressure. Oweh at the moment starting the ball. Looks like he's going to try to help against one of the inbound plays. Comes in to Houck. Garrison went for the steal, didn't get it. Knocked away from behind by Chandler, and that's a foul on Collin. And it'll put Houck, a 76% shooter, at the line.
That's his 3rd.
Chandler's 3rd foul.
Yeah, the question was, would Kentucky try to get one more stop, or do you extend the game by putting them on the line and hope for some misses?
They've got Chinyalu out, so they've got 3 guards out there. Clemsar's back in the game. Houck's 2 for 2 today.
Nope.
Missed it. He's not scored in this half. Had 17 in the first half. Kentucky's defense was so much better in the second half. If they have defended like this in the first half, they wouldn't be in the spot they are. But Garrison's out, Moreno in.
It's kind of like with that A&M game. Kentucky got behind and they played you even, or a little better than the opponent in the second half.
The second one's good for Houck. 78-70.
So far behind, they started the clock too soon.
Came into Aberdeen, he was letting the ball roll since there was nobody in backcourt. They're having all kinds of clock issues. So no time should have come off.
And now again, it gives Florida an opportunity to say, hey, come up in the backcourt.
So now they reset it to 54.9.
Don't let them throw the ball in and let it roll up the floor. So I guarantee you somebody for Florida is going to be in the backcourt. So it costs Kentucky a few seconds. Good teams get all the breaks, man. I tell you, they make them.
And they take advantage of any good fortune that comes their way.
That's exactly right.
That's why you're in this situation, and anybody's playing Florida right now, you just have a smaller margin for error than you typically do.
And again, they're working on the that little box on the officials. They have that on their belt, so they're working on that. So everybody looks. You see them talking to each other. Check that. So everybody looks at the table, but it's not always the table's fault.
Comes into Aberdeen. Aberdeen up the middle of the floor with a left-hand dribble. Goes by his man, gets into the paint, feeds Moreno for a dunk. Kentucky's out of timeouts. It's putting on the full court press. 78-72. Lee's got it in backcourt. Falls down. Ball's loose, but he gathers himself. Gets it over to Flan. He drives through the defense and gets fouled by Aberdeen.
Should that have been a travel, Tom?
So my field of vision was blocked between.
If he kept
there was
his
a player, so I couldn't
alive.
see. I just saw him falling down.
Yeah, we
and
missed
there's a
it.
player blocking me out. I haven't seen a replay yet. 78-72 Florida. 40 seconds left. 2 shots for Flan. He's 2 out of 4. 73% on the season. Gators just 14 of 24 today. First one's up, good. 13 for Boogie Flan. Former Arkansas Razorback and McDonald's All-American. Makes it 79-72. One more shot for Flan. And it's good. 80-72. Aberdeen angles left as he comes into court.
That's 2 hands on.
Aberdeen over to Oweh. Pump fake. Gets an open look
That's
at the
hard.
3 and gets
That's
fouled. Hout knocked down Oweh in that left corner. 3 shots for Oweh.
But Denzel comes off of that screen, and Chinyelu, both hands on, and pushes him off balance.
It's kind of odd that you can see that when Garrison does it, but no, Chinyelu.
I get it. I mean, it is just, but Chinyelu is such a big dude, man. It doesn't take much for him to knock you off balance. I mean, 6'10", 265.
Oweh hits 23 for Otega Oweh. Cuts the lead to 7. 2 more shots.
Nope.
Up to 6.
It didn't hit the rim.
Garrison coming back in. Moreno out.
Replaces Moreno.
This could cut it to 5. 29.9 seconds.
No, he can't do that.
They were getting ready to substitute a player, and they'd already handed the ball to Oweh. This has become ridiculous. Between clock issues and the officials handing the ball, and they're going to bring a player in. And Oweh hits it, and now they will sub in Clavsar, which would like to give Kentucky a chance to set its press.
They bring another ball handler and another free throw shooter into the game.
80-75 Florida, 29.9 seconds. And the Cats find the way to a steal. Flan runs the baseline. Knocked away by Chandler, but saved back to Flan by Clavsar, and a foul on Kentucky. And Aberdeen pointing to the baseline to say that was the guy on the end line. Fouls on Oweh. Chandler nearly came up with a steal. Got between the passer and the receiver, but he couldn't come up with the ball, and Clavsar. And there's the replay that when Clavsar has a hold of the ball, his foot is on the inline, but Kentucky didn't have any timeouts to challenge it, and Flan hits the free throw.
Yeah, we're out of timeouts here. So you can't challenge if you don't have a timeout.
81-75. When Clavsar caught that ball, his foot was on the inline. Should have been a turnover. One more shot for Flan to make it a 3-possession lead. Good. Aberdeen comes up into front court. 24 seconds. Aberdeen over to Dioubate. Back to Aberdeen. Fake slides left. Gets fouled. Throws the ball up into the air. They're going to give him 3 shots.
They're giving him 3.
Condon commits the foul.
He had gathered the ball.
Heads up play.
So technically, that's the proper call. Once you collect that and you get the contact, you should get 3
Yes.
opportunities.
How the officials have been told to call this. It's called the gather. You said the NBA.
Gather it, yeah. Continuation.
Aberdeen's got 3 shots. It's good. How just clapped as they'd handed the ball to Aberdeen. And he's just like clapping there.
Little things veteran players try to get away with.
14 for Aberdeen. 10 in the second half. 2 more shots. And it was short. No good. 19 seconds left. Garrison back in. Actually, would have been better to have made the second one. If you're going to miss one, the third one, maybe you get a rebound. Now this one's perfect for Aberdeen. And that'll get a substitution for Florida. It's 82-77 Gators. Still 19 seconds. Kentucky needs a steal to have a chance. They get it into Lee. He's trapped in the corner, tied up, and they call a foul on Aberdeen, who's lobbying for the jump ball call. So Lee will walk to the other end. For the first time today, he'll go to the line. 17.9 on the clock. They call a foul on Garrison, and he has just fouled out of the game. .77 Florida. Gators trying to hang on for their 11th straight win in a regular season series sweep of Kentucky. Kentucky was down by 20 just past the midway point of the second half.
Yeah.
Lee has 2. Missed it. So now, still can at best be a 2-possession game.
Yeah.
Full 2-possession game if it makes
got
it.
Get it up the floor quickly.
Lee spins it. Former Princeton Tiger hits it. 83-77. Oweh up the right side. Angles into the middle. Shoots a deep 3 straight away. Air ball rebounded by Florida and a foul on Kentucky. 10.9 seconds to play. Fouls on Moreno. He is fouled out. Now to get Jelavic into the game for Kentucky. Kentucky's outscored Florida 45-34 in this half. But looks like going to be too little too late.
Yeah.
Free throw rolls in. Lee scored 22 in the win over Kentucky in Gainesville. Can get into double figures if he makes this free throw. 10.9 on the clock. Missed it. Rebound Jelavic. Aberdeen up the left side of the floor. Going to pull up, shoot a long 3. No good. Dioubate chases it down in the corner. Diobate's going to force up a high arcing 3 at the buzzer that's no good. And Florida defeats Kentucky 84-77.